Well, I'm one step ahead of yesterday because I managed to get a banner up this time. So I guess we'll see how this goes. Everybody could be busy. It's a very weird day and it's a very weird evening. So who knows how it goes. Howdy, howdy. How's it going? We're giving it another try tonight. Heck gal, how's it going, girl? What's happening? What are you up to this evening? I don't know if you've been here before, but I either suck at talking by myself or I start babbling like an idiot. Did you watch it? Was it wild? That blew my mind. Did you watch the whole thing? Both parts? The 3 hour and then the 1 and whatever hour? Oh, Clouseau. Did you, and I know you need discernment, but did you enjoy it? Oh, you liked them both? Cool. You're welcome to come up if you want. The link is there. It's an open panel. Just chatting, and who knows, might have another train wreck like I had last night. Although, so far, it's done pretty good. I even managed to get a banner up this time. What did you think of Clouseau? I waited this long to come on because there were so many other people had streams on. Oh, are you? Now, was the last one a recent one, or was it one from 2018 to 2020? Because I know I think he posted a new one. Yeah, there were so many streams on, I figured I'd just wait for a while. But, hey David, how are ya? You can come up if you want. Link's there. It's a open chat. You never know. We could have another train wreck like last night. But I got a banner tonight. Are you proud of me? Okay, I don't remember whether that was like the 2018 to 2020 or if it was one of his new ones. I can't remember off the top of my head. I've had a couple sleeps since then. Not recently though. Do you know that I've been awake since yesterday morning? Like before yesterday's screwed up show? So since Thursday morning. Don't ask me why. And today has been so strange. Yeah, they took his thing down, so he's got a new channel. Yeah, he did, Christopher. He got taken down. He's gonna have a new channel. In fact, let me see if I can grab that. I don't know if everybody's got the new channel. Just a sec, I'll grab you the link. Such a weird day. Hang on. See if I can do this without kicking myself out. Dun dun dun. Dun 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 dun. So far, so good. I don't think I've kicked myself out yet. Oh, I know where it is, because he texted it to me. Hang on a second. Ooh, making bread. Yum. Yeah, I know. I'm gonna in just a sec. Let me get Travis's link first. Copy. Paste. Okay, there's his new link. Dun, dun, dun. I learned a couple new things. I learned how to put timestamps on so that I could find things. Hey, David Devine, calm down, dude. One second here. Hey, Polarian. How are ya? Yeah, I learned how to put timestamps on, which I never knew how to do. And I learned how to go to the back room last night. That was pretty cool. The link's pinned at the top for anybody who wants to come up on panel. Oh, David, I got no problem modding you. I've known you for a while. I'm having a very strange day, but I'm doing okay, I guess. I've been awake since Thursday morning. Yeah, it's been a little bit on the weird. Today's been really weird. Anybody else find today been really weird? Anybody got any news they want to talk about? Y'all can come up on panel. It's pinned up top. I don't know, it's just everything has seemed really off, and it's maybe because I've been awake so long. Or because I had such a train wreck last night. But I have learned a few more things. Yeah, I don't normally stay awake that long, but after the show ended last night, Guardian and I were in the back room until 8 o'clock this morning. And then there was all kinds of stuff going on. It could be the, what do you call them, the CMEs and the Schumann resonance. And hey, somebody said, and I can't remember who said it, somebody said that Mount St. Helens is rumbling and the USGS is not showing it. Anybody else hear that? Yeah, we talked till 8 o'clock this morning. And then things got stranger during the day, but it's all right. Given everything that's going on, what else? Yeah, I'm not usually, like for the last 3 weeks, I've been sleeping an immense amount of time way out of the norm for me. Like, I'll be trying desperately to watch someone's stream, And the next thing I know, I'm waking up. And then the next thing I know, I'm waking up again. And then I'm waking up again. So then that's why I haven't been around on very many channels. And the ones that I have tried to listen to, I was falling asleep in. So oh, really? And someone else said Yellowstone had a bunch of earthquakes today. And I don't know how true that is either. Hey, another Canadian. Yeah, well, apparently the USGS isn't saying shit about it, but that's nothing new. They want to hide everything. I don't know where else you'd look that up, though. I'm not SMRT when it comes to stuff like that. What is the HF bands? For those of, for us laymen's. I get a kick out of all these people that say, oh, message me on Facebook. Yeah, no, I can't do that. Kicked off. Oh, well, get a hold of me on Twitter. Yeah, no, I was kicked off of there in 2020. Twitter doesn't like me. Oh, high frequency ham radio shortwave. Okay, see, I didn't know that. No problem, Polarian. I've seen you around for about 6 months, and you're a fellow Canadian, so... I just wish they'd take Sparkle Socks out, because I'm getting really tired of his shit. Oh, what's that? Texas News. Okay. Is that a good channel? My ex-father-in-law used to have a ham radio, and he used to listen to it all the time. He had his license plate with his ham radio thing on it and the whole deal. Well, that's alright. Still Canada. I'm in Ontario. Tell me that doesn't suck. I don't know if you guys have heard about the doctors dying here. Primarily, the majority of them in Ontario, in the last month or less, we had 25 of them primarily, 25 or 24 were from Ontario, all under 50, all healthy, most of them athletic, doing triathlons and marathons and all that good stuff. And in the last month or less, they've all died within a day of taking their 4th poke. And then we had another one in Sarnia die a couple days ago, so that's now 29 total. Oh, American Northwest corner. Well, that's alright. I like the videos you put out, though. The link's there, guys. Anybody wants to come up, it's an open and free panel. Because I either have big long breaks or I babble like an idiot. So what else is new? Because although I was up most of the day, I never heard shit. I don't know what's going on out there. Okay, David. I watched that, any of you guys watch And We Know? I watched his interview with General Flynn today. It was really good. And I got through most of Cash Patel on David Nino Rodriguez today. I think I only missed the last 5 minutes of it. Oh, really? When was that? Was that a recent one, Heck Gal? I usually watch them, but I never got to him today. I forget why. Oh, because Big Hair came on. And I was just finishing up And We Know when Big Hair came on. Ah. It wasn't from today? They were rocking it at Big Hair Night tonight. You guys should have seen the bug that was in here last night. Holy crap. This thing was huge. My cat was going ballistic trying to catch it, and she's too fat. She's like 18 pounds, so I told her to give up. You aren't going to get it. Okay, thank you. Oh, on 14067, yeah. That's a real piece of work, isn't it? No, she's 18 pounds. She's a Maine Coon. She's 18.2 pounds, and she has no problem sitting on the scale to show you. She'll go park her big butt there and wait for the digital screen to show up. Well, I'm praying that this all flips right side up before the end of the year so that that shit doesn't come to pass. and so that all the illegal shit they've done can be wiped out. That's what I'm praying for. Yeah, she's a Maine Coon with an attitude. I think part of her attitude comes from my oldest daughter traumatized her when she was a kitten. And so now whenever she comes to the house to visit, if she walks in the room, my cat hisses at her. So she's got a good memory. One sec. Okay, sorry, had to send a message. Yeah, off the merry-go-round, no shit. Oh yeah, she's got a memory like a steel trap. The second that she walks in the room, she starts hissing at her. She says, that cat doesn't like anybody. I said, yes, she does. And I call her over, and she comes over and cuddles right up with me. I want to see I missed the Julie Green live. Why did I miss that? Oh, because I was watching Robert. So I guess I have to wait for them to post that one. Because on that one, she had live today, I think it was Clay Clark and Cash Patel, or Patel Patriot. I get the two Patels mixed up. Yeah, those are big cats. I went into a couple rooms and they were doing their traditional bitching about, oh, it's too late, we're not gonna, what can we do, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, do I repeat myself again? Devil Dog and so many others have been telling you guys what to do for months. And it requires the Constitution and a pen and paper. And you don't have to wait to elect these crooked SOBs. You can take them out with the Constitution. And so many people get hung up on the fact that, well, they passed this law and they passed that law. I said, but what you don't understand is that's Admiralty law, and it's the federal government passing these laws, and they don't have the authority to do it. And until you learn your Constitution, you won't understand the difference. Oh, did she? Yeah, I missed it. I was wanting to see that one, but then by the time I was halfway through Roberts, I remembered, and then I was like, crap, I've missed most of it now. Hey, did y'all hear about that little leaguer that fell off the bunk bed at the big tournament a couple weeks ago and was rushed to hospital? Well, he came out of the coma and he's relearning to eat and drink and speak and they had him up a couple days ago trying to get him to relearn how to walk. And his little brother got to play in his place for him for the first game for their team. And they didn't win their first game, but it's like a double elimination or something. But the standing ovation that his little brother got for coming out in his brother's place was amazing. Could have swore I seen someone in the back room there, but disappeared. So that was a little bit of good news. A, that he come out of the coma, and B, that he's working on relearning everything. Are y'all still there? Hello? Is anybody out there? Oh, there's Hit Gal. How's David doing? Did he find a place yet? Y'all are welcome to come up. You know, it's an open panel. You can talk about whatever you want, as long as it's respectful. No. I sent him a link for a site called Landmodo, and it's on YouTube, and they have places all over the states that don't require a bank or like a mortgage outright. It's owner financed, low down payments, and they usually post stuff every couple of days, and they have stuff all over the states. Well, I hope Cindy gets a hold of Devil Dog, because she's got some pretty corrupt people in her state. And he said anybody that's got the balls to remove elected officials that are corrupt, he'll show them the USC code to do it, to make it stick, and he'll show them the USC code 241 to 245 to remove their limited I don't think it's limited liability. It's let me see. I screenshotted what he said. Oh, limited immunity, to remove their limited immunity. And by the sounds of where Cindy lives, she could use it, because she sounds like she got some pretty corrupt SOBs there. Yeah, well, a lot of people are saying, oh, well, we have to vote them out or blah, blah, blah. No, you can get them for violating their oath to the Constitution and their oath to the people. And there's plenty of them that done that. Any that were involved in the steal and any of them that are passing these laws that are illegal can be taken out for the same reason, because they're not upholding their oath to the Constitution and to the people. Oh, McConnell. I'm sorry. You should get him removed, girl. He's a scumbag. Yeah, well, if you do it D-Dog's way, you don't have to go through the Admiralty Court. You have to file the right papers with the right information, and if they don't respond on time, then they are admitting guilt and they're done. Period. And then you can have the sheriff go in and remove them. Same as all these pew-pew laws that they're passing. They don't have the authority to pass those. They're not constitutional. It's not within their jurisdiction of the Constitution and what their job is. So anybody who voted for those laws, you can remove for the same reason. Talk to Devil Dog? Yes, the 1902 Dix Act. Dick Act. Yeah. But if people are trying to do it through the regular courts, they'll never succeed. Because it's two different things. One is Admiralty law, and one is common law under the Constitution. Oh. It must not be, having a... Travis. I think them boys have had a few drinks. Too many. So they would be very entertaining. He just sent me a message. Shh, we're on a Sasquatch hunt. Well, if they had problems, they should get a hold of D-Dog, because he can tell them what went wrong. They have the, well, I mean, I wish I could be a fly on the wall when he goes to court. That would be so amusing. Looked at the flood that never happened. No, what do you mean? You mean everything they were showing on the different programs and weather stations was BS? I know there's been a crap ton of, what do you call it? Floods where in cities where floods never happen. Wow. You should get together a channel and put out that information. They're showing all these floods in Saudi Arabia and India. According to the Weather Channel, one of these weather channels, or Watch the World Weather, or Italy's been getting floods for the last 5 days. Did you watch that Stu Peters? Well, you might not have, because it was about the title of it was about the 28 doctors. But they had a researcher on there that was tracking all the batches and well, I guess between the 3 companies, not including Pfizer, because Pfizer wouldn't provide their information. But the other 3 companies, between those 3, they had over 1,500 different lot numbers, and every one has different ingredients in it. And 2 of the hot spots for those, well, Kentucky was leading, but Tennessee's taken over for the number of people that have died from those lot numbers.
This thing is starting to piss me off. We should kill it.
Yeah. David. Hey, you had almost a similar thumbnail as mine. Sasquatchy. Had a boy down in the floods. He just died helping clean up. They said he was healthy. Yeah, there's so many of them. Like, when I heard about this couple that took their 2-month-old, in to get that poke. And I wanted to just go and just, because that baby died like 3 hours after getting that. Makes you wonder why any parent would take any child and put anything experimental in them. The pimples, yeah. Or what's that other one that they're talking about? The tomato something? Did you make anything yummy today, David? You always have yummy food to talk about. Or yummy sandwiches. See, this is what happens when I don't have anybody up on panel to talk to. I either have dead spots or I babble like an idiot. Okie dokie, David. Daughter and he went to the store and she got cheese, got home, and it had a weird black mold on it. And it was good, it said, until December. Yuck. Blech. But you know what's sad? Every time I go to put any kind of food in my mouth, I start wondering what's in it. What did they put in it? Because there's a report out that they're already using cricket flour or cricket powder or something in cheesies. Yuck. It's sad. I look at everything that I used to eat, no problem, and I start thinking, what have they put in this? That's what makes this whole situation I'm going through hard, because if I wasn't having to move and I wasn't having this eviction crap and everything else that's been going on, I would have been planting my seedlings in my grow room in April, and I would have been planting them out in my pots. I use 5-gallon pails because the ground here is just like solid clay. And I would have been growing all my stuff that I would have been canning this fall, but instead I'm packing it all. Oh, that's gross. No, but I seen somebody made a meme. You know the Twix bars? Somebody made a meme. Well, I'm hoping it's a meme. And it says Tix bars, and it shows one of the fingers being broken open and all these ticks falling out of it. Blech. That's disgusting. And I won't buy anything that has like red food dye in it anymore, like ice cream or yogurt or any of that stuff. No. Because where that red food dye come from, you don't want to know. Yuck. And the sad part is, they say that what the people who are awake or have been paying attention for the last 2, 4, 6 years, what we know is only about 10% of what's really happening. So can you imagine when the fire hydrant opens full blast and they let everything out, and all those sleepy sheep start hearing this, and they can't even get past the face diaper or the, you need to get this so that I don't get sick. What? If you've already had it, why do I need to get it to protect you? When was the last time you opened up your bag of common sense? That's just so disgusting. And if they can't get past just those 2 points, how are they going to handle everything that's going on in the monumental scale? Yeah, and they're proof positive that common sense doesn't grow in every garden. Because it doesn't matter if the facts are right in front of them, they can't process it. It's like the mainstream media thing. If you tell the lie enough times, people believe it. And they've heard it so much from the MSM that they just can't process anything different than what the MSM says. Or trust the government. No, don't trust the government. So who else is in here? Step up and say hi, y'all. And they've been, I've seen a couple of it now, how true they are or not. I've seen a couple of videos in the last few days, and they say you'll never believe what they found in, and then they say the country. And there are some of the weirdest crap that, like, really weird looking, I don't know if you want to call them beasts or marine animals or desert animals or just weird shit. And you don't know if it's photoshopped or if somebody made it, because you know what they can do with animation these days. Now that's delusion at its finest. That's DJT syndrome at its height. And it's all because they believe the mainstream. Yeah, let's put up with the potato administration and what they've done to your country in the last 2.5 years? Almost. Yeah, that's just sick. You've watched him systematically destroy every part of your economy and your country in every way, and you'd rather have that than have a guy that did more for your country in 4 years than the last 5 presidents did in total. I mean, just because you can't handle a mean tweet or someone who's blatantly truthful to you. Oh, yeah. And now they're going to try and blame everything on T as far as the hoax and all that stuff. It's just ludicrous. They're going to try and turn that all around on him, and then everything else is Mr. P's fault. Well, he filed a lawsuit against them for a violation of his Fourth Amendment rights. Yeah, and that's what's been going on with these doctors. Within a day of them getting the fourth one, they're dead. And the one that we just lost a couple days ago, she was 32 years old. And supposedly smart. Microbiology degrees and all this other stuff. But she's putting that stuff in her... Yeah, it makes no sense. How can you have that kind of a degree and put something experimental in your body? It's retarded. Those are the people that you're never going to wake up because they're way out there in left field. I really hate talking to myself. Yep. I agree. I just am so ready for this to be over. I'm so done with it. And then there's the sheep that are just wandering around in the field and they're just happy-go-lucky to get in line, go to the slaughter. It's okay. It's not you. There's probably a ton of people got streams going. More interesting. I just put this up so that people could talk freely and have a good time and talk about the day's events because I didn't know what most of them are. I didn't hear what went on today. I saw that the stock market closed down. Holy. Tried to tell me what we ain't supposed to what? Yeah, well, 3 days ago it was down, and then 2 days it rallied back up, and I'm like, how the frick is it rallying with everything that's going on right now? And then today it was way down again. I was like, ooh. Somebody told me something about Zuckerbuck's wife there that I didn't know. Said that she owns restaurants that are cannibal delicacies. I guess that's the best way to describe it. This is disgusting, but yeah. How are they pouring money into it, though? They don't have any money. Jeez. Or they just got the press out back of the stock market. Just keep pumping, pumping it out. Because it ain't real. Well, someone said that, maybe it was on Roberts today. They said, yeah, it was on Roberts. They said they found a great big reserve of gold in Qatar. And I think Qatar was mentioned in one of Julie's prophecies a couple weeks ago. Yeah, that's another thing. They don't even have the authority to be sending money to any foreign countries. That's not part of their constitutional duties. But they're getting away with it because people don't know their constitution. All the stuff that they're doing, they don't have the authority to do. But people have been brainwashed for so long about trusting the government. The government's got your best interests. They wouldn't lie to you. The MSM wouldn't lie. Meanwhile, they can put 60 stations side by side and they're all saying the exact same statement word for word. This is a threat to our democracy. No, it's not a democracy. It's a constitutional republic. Yep. He's one man, though. He's like Mr. T. People expect Mr. T to do it all. No. When he was inaugurated, he said it very clearly. He said, we are taking the power from the corrupt swamp in D.C., and then the military all came down and stood behind him. And he said, we are giving it back to you, the people. And he references the Constitution so much. And he says, I'm not the boss. God is. And he said, the only reason they're coming after me is because I'm between them and you. Yeah, he would. I love listening to some of his when he goes to court and how he just nails them. First, he goes after the lawyers because there's no law licenses issued by the Bar Association or by any of the states. And he has, I think, at least a minimum of 6 court cases from the Supreme Court that admit that there is no law license, which means none of these lawyers are legal. Of course, the Bible tells you that. That's one of the deceptors they talk about in the Bible. I wonder if I could play that Paul Harvey thing without kicking myself out. Because he recorded that in 1965, the year that I was born, and he was talking then, in 1965, about what's going on right now. Yeah, he correlates everything, and he digs, he researches. Did you see when he went back to find out, he went back 300 years to find out what that property was before it became a housing development? And it was a satanic ritual offering site for what kind of offerings. And the two street names, the one that she was racing down and the one that the house is on, those are two bloodline families that are connected to her bloodline family. Yeah, my dad used to listen to him all the time. And now you know the rest of the story. This is Paul Harvey, and now you know the rest of the story. My dad used to listen to him all the time. Wonder if that lizard over in Great Britain has kicked the bucket yet. I saw really cute. You know how Robert plays funny pet videos? I saw a really cute one with a little pug dog. He started by peeing on the wall, and then he stood up on his front two legs with his back two legs way up in the air, and he was walking around on his front two legs peeing everywhere. That was funny. Oh, is she looking younger again? Jeez Louise. Oh, I watched a good thing today on some Duchess. I don't know if it's her cousin or probably is. They're all freaking related. That grew up with her. They played together. And she had more titles than ER does. Man, oh man, is she like, you want to see reptilian looking, nasty looking? Oh, she was kind of pretty when she was younger, but she is like full blown ugly reptile resemblance now. Blech. Da-na-na-na-na. When I did my live streams a couple months ago, I played that Stolen History. Those are wild. Have you watched those? Oh, you got kicked. Oh, you should look them up. The channel's called Stolen History. There's a 3-part series. Part 1, Part 2, Part 3. I'm not sure if I played all 3 of them, but I played at least 2 of them. And it talks about how back at the turn of the century, 1900s, they had all the world fairs, and they used those to disguise them destroying Tartarian buildings. And these buildings were all over North America, all over the world. And ain't no way that people in the 1900s built this stuff with horse and buggies. Just, it don't compute. These things are massive. They're like bigger than most of the Roman buildings. And they used those world fairs to disguise them destroying it. Yeah, it's called Stolen History. Ew. Maybe they got taken down. Because I can't find them. Oh, look here. I think they got taken down.
This video is based on an article.
Quiet. I do believe they got taken down. Yeah, that's not the right one. It might be they might have put up a new channel, because the one that I had, there was 3. I wonder if, no, they didn't take those videos down. I bet you it's still on my old videos. Yeah, that's where I got it from. And I've only had one video removed, and that was because I called somebody an asshat. They said I was using hate speech, and I said, well, they were being an asshat. Sorry. It was the night that Chuck and Monty were trying to help me figure out whether Restream or StreamYard was easier for me to use, and there was someone in the chat being a dick while they were trying to help me, and I told them to quit being an asshat, and they took that video down. But I think all my other ones are still there. I haven't had no notifications about any others being taken down. So maybe those videos are still on there. I'll have to go back and watch a couple of them tomorrow and find out which one it is. Because one of them, I played 2 episodes for sure, maybe 3. And it was wild. I'll have to check on Rumble and see if they moved over there. But not now, because I'll probably kick myself out. That's the way it goes. If you don't have luck, if you don't have bad luck, you don't have any at all. And one thing I haven't corrected yet is I'm really good at kicking myself out. I wonder if I can figure out how to play something without kicking myself out. Dun, 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 dun. John Green. Dun, dun, dun. I'm looking to see if I can get into my Telegram. Children. Turdo. Oh, there's the puppy. Okay, there's that. Put that there. Bring that back up. And bring that back up. Same ones? Yep, same ones. Yeah, he is. He saves me from a lot of stuff, but I don't think he's feeling good. I'm not sure, but he just seems kind of down. I'm gonna give this a whirl. See if I can pull it off. Share system audio. Can you see it? Tell me if you can see it. Okay, watch this. I thought it was cute. Everybody needs a laugh sometimes. Oh, turdo. Better not play that one. Oh, this is a good one. That's the one I was telling you about. Stu Peters. He talks, they have researchers on there that talk about all the different batches and everything. You should watch that video. That's a good video. The one that I just showed you there, the Stu Peters one. That was today. That was Charlie and General Flynn talking. Fair use, YouTube. When I made that larger, did it make it larger on the screen? Or no? No, not on your end. Yeah. I probably have to make it larger and then reshare it. Because I haven't. This is a good one too. On Newsflash is it was today, Saving Canada podcast. Well, at least I managed to share one without kicking myself off. That's a plus. Monty would be so proud. Oh yeah, you should go to my Telegram and do you want my Telegram link? I can get that, I think. Oh man, I wish somebody would buy the rest of those puppies. I'm so over them. Cotton link. There you go. Look at that. I did it again without kicking myself out. I'm getting pretty good at this. There must be a shit ton of... Yeah, and they're at the tiring stage. They're 8 weeks. They need to go to forever homes. Because every time I go out of my room, I get swarmed. Their claws are sharp. They cut my legs. Yeah. Thank God there's only 7 of them left instead of the original 11. Me too. Like I don't want them gone just to get rid of them. I want them to go to good homes. See my avatar there, that was my dog that was killed 3 months ago. And she's the great grandma of these puppies. And there was only one puppy that had her markings. The rest are all black or blonde, like their mom. And they were going to give me her because I missed my Tira so much. But I had many conversations with the big guy upstairs, with everything that's going on here with the eviction and trying to heal from my cancer and trying to raise the money to get my stuff out of here before the deadline and all this stuff. And I just got the message that I just can't put that on my plate right now. I don't have time to train a puppy with all this going on. And he said when I get to where I'm going permanently, then the right dog will come to me. So they're gonna find her a home too. And I said, I hope you find her a really good home. Yeah, 'cause I love her. She's a real sweetheart. And she always comes running to me. And she used to sleep on my chest when she was like 5 or 6 weeks old. She's a real sweetheart. But the logical thing is I have so much on my plate right now. There's no way I could train a puppy. I just can't deal with it right now. Yep. And she looks just like her grandma. Her great grandma. And I really missed Tira. She was amazing. She was my best friend. She was my protector. She always let me know if there was someone on the property. She let me know if someone was at the door, and she would let them know that she was the protector here unless I looked at her and said, okay, it's all right, and then she'd just walk away. As soon as I told her it was okay, she would walk away. She was such a good dog. She was a 135-pound lap dog. Yeah, I don't think so. I only got a month before the eviction date. And I can't pack stuff without help, so I have to rely on strangers to help me. And I have to raise the money to get my stuff shipped out of here before the deadline, so I just don't see being able to fit that in as well. But I'm sure the right one will come to me when the time is right. The link is up in the top pin there for anybody who wants to come up and chat. There was 5 and now there's 3 again. I wonder where Travis is. He must be out hunting Sasquatch again. That was a pretty wild storm that he filmed earlier. I don't know if it was today or yesterday. I can't even keep track because I've been awake since Thursday morning. Yeah, they were having a good time on Big Hair Day, or they were rocking. I'm gonna have to go back and watch my other videos and see if the ones with the stolen history are still on there, because those were good shows. I think Guardian was here that night when we were watching them. They were wild. They'd show buildings from the mud floods where, you know, like the whole bottom floor of a building was underground and part of a window was at the sidewalk level, and they just made new doors and stuff. It was wild. Yeah, if I find them, I'm gonna put them up there. I'll go back through it maybe tomorrow and look through the videos and see if I can find which one it was that had it. Because they were really interesting. I can't remember if I might have played some other stuff on there too. I think that was the first night I was able to play something without getting kicked off, but it took Monty and Chuck to help me figure it out because mine didn't work the way everybody else's did. Like, everybody else would select the window they wanted, and I had to select the entire screen and then pick my way through it. And he said, that don't make sense. And I said, well, that's the only way it'll let me do it. But it could be because my computer's like a 2007. So I should just be happy that it still works. It's a 2007 Toshiba. That thing I watched today of that Duchess of whatever she was. Oh my God, was she homely? Oh, like, they said she was beautiful when she was young. She was okay looking. She wasn't like a stunning knockout, but she had like money buku and titles buku over ER. But man, when she got older, oh my God, she looks literally like a reptile. And when they show all the stuff that she had through the years, you have to know that she was part of that group. It's like, ugh. And here's a question I don't understand. Are the druids supposed to be good or bad? I can never figure this out. Oh. I've never been able to keep that straight whether they were supposed to be good ones or bad ones. See all the stuff that's surfacing from some of these places that are experiencing enormous droughts? There's like ships and forgotten cities and all kinds of weird stuff. I know, right? Like, they try to erase everything. Look at how they were trying to erase all the historical statues in the Summer of Love. Bodies being found out west? Really? Oh, you talking about the ones in Lake Mead? I think I seen a video say something today about one of the bodies they found might have been connected to the Chicago Mafia. Go figure. Oh, and did you see the connections that Bishop Larry made to the Anne Hesh family and Anne Hesh herself and Nicole Brown Simpson? And that congressman that was, or congresswoman that was helping Anne Hesh died in a car accident the week before Anne. And then most of the big films or films that are made are sponsored, or what do they call it? Paid for by the studios like DreamWorks, Paramount. All that usually covers the cost of making the film. And Anne's was covered by the Bank of America. And then the Bank of America was bought the same day that Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman were found. And the, what do they call it? The shell company that bought Bank of America was actually a cover name for the Yakuza. And that they bought the bank the same day that Nicole and Goldman were found. And they had to do with Nicole's death. Because even though she was divorced from OJ, she owed them tons of money for drugs, and he refused to pay. He said he wasn't paying for her bills anymore. And he said, oh yeah, 100% he knows who took her out, but he ain't gonna say nothing because he knows that they'll take him and his kids out next if he says anything. It was pretty wild, all the information he found out. That those two streets, the one that she was racing down and the one that the house is on, were both bloodline families connected to her family. Oh, and when he did the record search on the house and he found all the different foundations and trust funds that had owned it for the duration of it being the house, that the one foundation is from SA, and they own restaurants all over the world, and they own one in Georgetown, DC, that has to do with spirit cooking. Well, that was another thing I seen today. I saw a video saying that the Abramovich yacht has gone dark and they don't know where it's disappeared to. And I'm thinking, yeah, right, they don't know. Bullshit. I'm quite sure they know where it is. Yes. That was also very interesting. And like, for one reason or another, he was getting ready to sue some big company. Anne Hesh refused to shut up because she was telling her life story and they wanted her to stop, and she said no. Well, maybe my luck is turning. Somebody said that they want to come tomorrow and maybe get a couple of the storage cupboards I have for sale. Yay! get them out of here and get me some more money towards my shipping. I hope they do too. It's supposed to come out in a month on Lifetime. Now, they wanted a bunch of stuff cut out of it, and she said if they cut stuff, then she was removing her name and refusing them to air it. I wonder if now that she's gone, if they're going to cut out the stuff that they wanted first. Yeah, well, it's not much, but like I've got just about every piece of furniture that I own up for sale so that I can get my stuff out of here and get out of this toxic environment. It's a slow process because, you just have to keep reposting the stuff and re-advertising it. And there's a guy coming tomorrow to get the golf clubs, so that's a good thing. You thank God for small miracles, right? All the small ones add up to a big one, hopefully. The next big one I'm praying for is that the fire hydrant is cracked wide open and it all just starts spilling out and flipping everything back right side up. Oh, puppies are fighting. Yeah, it does. What time is it? 2:30? Did you hear it? Yeah, they're fighting. I went out and I was standing looking out the window of my door into the other room, and one of them went running over, and there was one just sitting there on the dog bed, and the other one was running towards it, and so it sits up on its back legs and puts its paws up, and the other one just dives at it, and they end up doing the big 2-puppy roll. Yeah, 2:29 here too. I can't believe that I'm still awake and there's not it's so quiet on a Friday night, or there's a ton of other streams on, one or the other. Yeah, but I'm not tired right now, that's the problem. Which is really weird, because like for the last 3 weeks, I haven't been able to keep my eyes open. That's what I mean about today's been really weird. I enjoy just hanging out and chatting with people. Like we do over at Travis's. The Sasquatch man. On the hunt. Did you see the video of that storm he took? That was pretty wild. The lightning, I think it was like a 6-minute video. I was like, the way that's cracking right over top of you, do you think it's safe to be standing outside? That was just my thoughts when I was watching it. Oh, it was like 6 minutes, but it was a wild lightning storm, but it was all cracking right over top of their heads, and I'm thinking, I don't know if that's wise to be standing outside filming that. Maybe go in the camper and film it from in there. Well, maybe everybody fell asleep. Maybe they're having what I had for the last 3 weeks. Sleep, sleep, sleep. Uh-oh. They got into something. I think they knocked over. Yeah, the little suckers were attacking my package of water bottles earlier today. I thought, ooh, you have your own water, leave mine alone. Yeah, puppy trouble. I go out there and they look at me with those eyes and they go, what? And I think that, like, there's 2 of them. If you take your finger and tap them on the nose and say no, they bark back at you and swat their paw. And I'm thinking, you saucy little mother. Hey, Anna Marie, how's it going, girl? Is your phone charged? What's happening? I managed to show, are you ready for this, Anna Marie? I managed to show my Telegram page without kicking myself out. Aren't you proud of me? No, it's not charged. Girl, I miss talking to you. Oh, they're fighting again. Hey, Anna Marie, you remember my other videos that I did? Were you here when I played those stolen history videos? Yeah, I have a Telegram channel. There you go. There's the link. If you go on there and you go up about 6 or 7 posts, there's a really cute video from TikTok of a pug. And he starts by peeing on the wall, and then he goes up on his front legs, and he's walking around everywhere on his front legs peeing, with his back legs up in the air. It was funny. Had a good laugh over it. Everybody needs a good laugh, everyone. See, Anna Marie's seen him. I tried to find the channel, Anna Marie, it's gone. So I'm going to have to go look over on Rumble and see if they're over there, because the one that's up now on YouTube only has like 3 or 4 videos, and I don't know if they had to restart their channel or what the deal is, but the one that I got in, thanks honey, but the one that I got those videos off that we watched, I was telling Hit Girl, they were cool videos. And that was, I think, the first night I was able to play something without kicking myself out. They're not there anymore. So I don't know if they had to restart their channel with new videos, but the channel that was there that those videos came from is gone. And I don't think it's been removed yet from my previous videos. The only one that got removed was the first one where Monty and Chuck were trying to help me figure out the difference between Restream and StreamYard, and that guy was being a goof, and I called him an asshat, and they pulled my video down for hate speech. I loved those videos. They were good. They were really interesting. And they were doing then the same thing that the Dems were trying to do in the Summer of Love. Like, they were trying to destroy and erase all the statues and destroy monuments and all that kind of stuff. Thanks, honey. I miss talking to you. I was over watching Big Hair Night earlier tonight. Travis and Ken and Crystal all looked like they were having a blast. Travis texted me earlier and said, "Shh, I'm Sasquatch hunting." I really wish someone would come in and come up on panel with me. Then we could get a good conversation going. And I bet David didn't come back because he's filling his face with sandwiches. Because he did say he was hungry. David's always hungry. Yeah, I'm going to have to go over. Well, I'm going to go back and look in my videos first and see if they're still there. If they're still there, then I'm going to try and copy them to my Telegram page before they take that. I'm surprised they haven't taken any more videos down, but if that video's still up, then I'm going to try and copy them and put them on my Telegram. Someone was telling me to send them something. I was telling Hick Girl earlier, someone was telling me to send them something on FB Messenger, and I said, nope, can't do that, kicked off. Oh, well, then send me something on Twitter and I'll get a hold of you there. I said, nope, can't do that. Twatter kicked me off in 2020. Oh, it's pinned up at the top, honey. You got any juicy info that you heard today? Because I haven't heard shit. I had a really weird day. But I did have a little more luck than the train wreck I had last night, because when I set everything up tonight, I figured out how to put on the timestamps. And I figured out how to... What else did I figure out? I figured out how to do the timestamp. Oh! And last night, I figured out how to go into the back room. Is it not up there, Anna Marie? I'll get it again. Oh, there she is. Hi, honey.
Hi, I'm in the dark.
How you doing?
Pretty good. How are you?
Not bad. Better now that you're here.
Hard to talk by yourself, isn't it?
It is. There's so many people that are good at just talking with no one there. Like Remote can do it, no problem.
Yeah, he's really good.
I either have these great big long pauses, or I talk like a babbling idiot and sound stupid.
I don't think so.
So did you hear anything good today?
Oh, well, not that I like to trust the mainstream media, but we keep a TV on most of the time. And before my roommate went to bed,
Mm-hmm.
she turned on Fox News, and they basically came right out and said the Jabberwocky doesn't work and no reason to take it.
Right.
So that was one thing. But yeah, tidbits of different stuff, but I was pretty busy most of the day. Had a headache for all day, almost all day.
There's a lot of headaches going around for the last 3 or 4 weeks.
Just terrible, a really bad one, you know. But
And like I was telling Hit Girl, I haven't had the headaches, but I had for the last 2 or 3 weeks, couldn't stay awake to save my ass. That's
yeah,
why I haven't been in most of the rooms, because the ones I do go to, I try to listen because I'm not feeling great, and then the next thing I know, I'm waking up, and then the next thing I know, I'm waking up again. And this stream's over, and that stream's over.
that's been happening to me too. And usually, like during the day, I like to try not to miss Robert. And
Yeah.
Man, I've been having a hard time staying awake at that time of the day, but I don't have normal hours set or anything. I'm
Yeah.
up most of the night, get a couple of hours, then I'm awake, and then get another, if I'm lucky, hour or two. And it seems like I have to be like totally wore down, totally exhausted, and just about pass out in order to sleep.
Yeah.
But something really shocking happened tonight.
What?
You were aware that my daughter's disconnected with me through the whole ongoing of the
The coof?
upcoming election back
Oh,
for 2020.
yeah.
And yep, and the coup issue and everything,
Yeah.
and me being anti whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Well, tonight they call the house. First, my youngest daughter calls. After that, my older daughter calls. My younger daughter had started talking about, oh, you might want to know your family tree, Mom. We found out about some of the family on your mom's side.
Oh, yeah?
So I started listening, and here, come to find out, I guess it's my 5th great grandpa is Chief Great Buffalo.
Oh,
A lot of
really?
people call him Great Buffalo, but it's Chief Buffalo.
Yeah.
And he's a Native American that worked hard to come up with a treaty for the Lake Superior and Fond du Lac band of Indians.
Yeah.
And they just started going through the whole list of the ancestry and everything else, and how up by Ashland, I think it is. Well, gosh, I'm still just kind of in a state of shock. So
Yeah.
it's like it jumps around in my head, everything that they told me. There's on the south side of Lake Superior, there's the Asanji Trail.
Yeah.
That was Chief Asanji, which is another one of my ancestors. So we have where the Red Cliff Reservation is, and then west and north going more towards Canada of the Anishinaabe, and it is where the origins of the Fond du Lac tribe comes from. And that,
Oh, yeah.
and It's, oh, what's the name of the island? Darn it. I'm going to have to go up. Oh, Madeline Island
Okay.
is where Chief Buffalo was buried. Well, here my daughter, oldest daughter, was doing all this ancestry and everything.
Mm-hmm.
She went up there, up by Lake Superior, and started looking up our history and everything right up there at the reservation.
Oh, yeah? That's cool.
And she went out to the island because only the descendants of Chief Buffalo can walk in that around by his grave.
Mm-hmm.
Only his descendants. So she's like, Mom, I think you should go up there. It was so emotional for her. See, my mom was an orphan.
Your mom was
and
what?
My mother was an orphan.
Oh, okay.
So her brothers and everything were sent off to boarding schools. And
Or the
her
residential
being,
schools?
yes, and her being one of the younger children, she was an orphanage of the 3 youngest children
Mm-hmm.
were in the orphanage. And it's really amazing to be able to learn this because she knew the language.
Mm-hmm.
And it was taken away from her. She went in there like around the age of 6.
Oh, yeah, and they used to, like, beat it out of the kids. They didn't want them, they wanted them to speak English.
Exactly. So,
This is the kind of stuff I got kicked off of Twatter for.
was it really?
Yeah, I started in probably August of 2020. I was putting together all the different connections that I was finding between the residential schools and the orphanages all over the world.
Right.
So I started putting them all together on my Twatter page, and as soon as I did, they suspended me permanently. They won't let me delete my account, though. Go figure, because they want to keep the numbers there.
Oh.
And I can still see my account right till the day they suspended me. I can't post anything, but I can go back in everything that I did post, and I can copy it and then paste it somewhere else.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I don't think they planned on that one, but I mean, yeah, I appealed to them twice. If you're not going to give me my account back, then let me delete it. Nope. And I'm like, well, that's just retarded.
Yeah, what would be the purpose of that?
So that they could keep the subscriber numbers. When you think about all the fake bots that they had and everything.
Okay.
All the numbers that they were skewing when Elon was arguing with them. I want the information. I want to know how many actual real accounts there are and how many are bots. Well, all of those bots were to keep their subscriber numbers up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And all the people that they suspended, that's why they won't let them delete their accounts, so that the account still shows as a user in the analytics, but you aren't able to use your account.
Holy cow.
Yeah. You know what I heard today? I don't remember where I heard it, but somebody told me that Zuckerbuck's wife, I think they said she owns 3 restaurants, and their cuisine is cannibal delicacies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, all the stuff that we dabble into, digging into different things, and more coming out.
Yeah.
Did you know that Hannity had someone on there discussing the parts of the bodies?
No, I didn't.
And the trafficking.
When was that?
I believe it may have been yesterday or so.
Recently.
He had
I don't trust Hannity.
interpreter for someone that has been abducting them, the young people, over
Yeah,
the years, and discussing the many in a office way, you know, like
yeah. Well, I was talking with
not
Hick.
getting into total detail, but you
Yeah, I
know,
was talking with Hick Girl earlier, and I said I won't ever buy anything that has red food dye in it again because I know what it's made with.
oh, I don't.
Oh
But
well, they actually have. If you buy like a strawberry or cherry yogurt that has
oh, is
coconut,
that the stuff that's made out of the spiders?
no, it's made out of the parts of the little people.
I never heard that.
Yeah, and they actually have the name of it in the ingredients, and it starts with a C. And best of my recollection, I think it's like 5 or 6 letters long. And if you look up that word, it tells you what it is. And then I thought about Monty always making his cracks about sitting in his beanbag chair naked eating his cheese puffs.
Oh, the cricket.
Yeah, and I'm like, ugh.
That's about the
Cricket powder or cricket
old
flour
an
or
old
something.
well the guy being naked with a cheese puffs thing is some old dirty jokes anyway about that. So that's kind of a guy thing.
Yeah. But I said, like I said to Hick Gal, I said, I find myself now when I eat stuff, and some of it is stuff that I used to eat all the time, but a lot of the stuff I used to eat I don't touch anymore, right? But some of the stuff that I eat, I go to put it in my mouth and I find myself thinking, what is in this?
Yeah, I
What,
know.
and I'm doing that every day. I'm like, what did they put in this?
Or what did they put in there that's not on the label?
Yeah. If it says natural flavoring or natural additives, you want to stay away from it.
Yeah. That's pretty much everything.
Yeah, it is. And I said that's why everything that's going on right now is so difficult, because if I wasn't going through this eviction and having to move and the deadline to raise the money to get my stuff out of here and dealing with everything that's been going on and still trying to heal and all that stuff, if I wasn't going through all that, I would have in April been putting my seedlings in my grow tent, and then in May putting them out in my pots, because I use the 5-gallon pots to grow everything. And or the bags, 5-gallon bags, and then I do canning in the fall. That's what I do every year, and I'm used to doing that. And it's been so hard having to do all of this, because I hear everybody talking about planting this and growing that and harvesting this and getting ready to can, and that's what I am normally doing. But instead, I'm having to pack everything, and I have no clue where I'm going to end up.
Yeah.
So that messes with my mind a little bit.
No doubt. You know, my roommate and I used to live in apartments, and we couldn't even stand it anymore. And we decided we're both done with guys in our lives, so we both like dogs, don't like this apartment life. We both like country life.
Yeah.
We came to this trailer park, and I used to drive by it all the time. Talk to the owners of the trailer park. They liked us, showed us around the park. We looked at some homes. Come to find out you couldn't get a loan for a trailer house.
Yeah, I read that somewhere.
Well, they liked us enough that about a couple months later, they gave us a ring and they said, "We have an offer for you gals. You can do what is called a land contract. We'll just call it that with us. Meet us up at, if you're still interested, we'll set a time and we'll go to a mobile home place that's up by Shawano, Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll pick out a mobile home and have it hauled to where you want to be. Go pick out a lot."
That's
So
awesome.
we've been here 12 years. In 10 years, we had the house paid off. But we don't own the property that it's on. During this time, about 6 years ago, they sold the park.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And the guy that used to be part owner of this park actually just passed away not too long ago.
Like my landlord.
Well, yeah.
Hence
So
why I'm
here,
being evicted, because of the estate war.
okay. Well, we just got a notice that our rent went up $100 for on a certain part of it, and they decided that they wanted us to pay $100 for all of our dogs, $25 a piece.
Wow.
So $200.
Yeah.
I'm like, how do you justify that? Now they've decided that they're going to charge us more for water, sewer, and everything else. Excuse me, this is out in the country. It's well water.
Mm-hmm.
I can understand a little bit of an up because of electricity or whatever, but Judy and I have been really cutting back on the use of water as much as possible.
Yeah.
And I mean, we don't do near the amount of stuff that we used to do, but you know, like pressure washing the house all the time and, you know,
Yeah.
things like that. We don't have the big garden we used to have. We didn't do a lot of watering the plants this year. We cut way back on all the flower pots and everything else because I mean we go crazy.
Yeah.
And I just told her if we can't eat it, we don't buy it. We'll do my big cauldron out front with the purple flowers, and that's about it. I said I don't want much of anything else. We can't be wasting the money. We got to start being more, you know, frugal.
Yeah.
So anyhow, we've had nothing but water problems over the last 5-6 months. The well goes out. So they had all this done on the well, and I can fill our bathtub before a storm. We had that time where we went 3 days with no running water, no electricity. There was a residue of sand the next day, that real fine sand.
Ew.
So they told me that I could put a filter system in my house if I wanted one. I'm sitting there going, you're selling me this as my cooking, drinking, and bathing water, and it's got dirt in it
you raised the price
for dirty water.
Yeah.
I want to report them so bad.
Well, see, and that's like here. When I moved here to this house, like I have to live in the country. I can't live in the city. It's like a PTSD anxiety thing. I can't do it. And when my dad got sick and I had to find a house big enough to accommodate him as well with the extra bedroom, so I doubled my rent to move here. I went from $600 to $1,250. Well, now, ever since the coof came along, now this is a 4-bedroom house, but nowhere in the country in this area can you even get a 2 or 3-bedroom house that's under $2,500. and I can't afford that.
Man. Well, and like our rent here,
Yeah,
right now what they have it set at is what her and I were paying for renting the property and making a house payment when we bought this place.
yeah,
It's like, so basically anybody that comes in here, if you're trying to buy the house, I can't imagine how much it's costing them to rent the house and the property.
yeah. Well, and so, like, two of my daughters that I'm at odds with because they spent 7 months with their narcissistic dad and now they've turned out just like him.
Oh, man.
They're always freaking out. Well, you won't even tell us where you're going. I said, what part of this don't you get? I said, the only thing I can wrap my brain around right now with all the stress I'm under is getting my stuff packed and raising enough money to get it shipped out of here. I know the area I'm moving to, but I don't have an apartment yet. Or what? Well, what? You just won't tell us. I said, no, it has nothing to do with that. It has to do with I have to deal with this first. Once I can pay for the shipping to get my stuff shipped up there, and I can drive up there, I will find a bed and breakfast, or I will find a senior's apartment, or I will find a trailer until I can find a piece of land.
Yeah.
I can deal with that then, but right now I gotta focus on this.
Yep.
And yeah, it's just been crazy. Trying to sell, like, I've got, my girlfriend sends me an email and she goes, well, don't pack everything you own. She says, just pack what you need and leave the rest. And I said, listen, every single piece of furniture that I can think of is up for sale and has been for 2 months or more. But it's a slow process. You can't make people look at your ads and you can't make them come and buy it. You have to wait, right? And so, like I said to her, I literally can't think of one piece of furniture that I'm taking except for a kitchen table. That's it. No chairs, just the kitchen table. All the other furniture, couches, storage cupboards, desks, tables, everything is up for sale. And thank God a guy contacted me today. He's coming to buy my dad's golf clubs.
Oh, wow.
And I had them, they've been listed for about 2 months, and I've dropped the price twice. But it's a complete full bag of, what do you call it? Graphite clubs, like a full set. The bag is full of balls, cards, everything. The whole thing is set up with the cart and everything.
Cool.
And this guy contacted me today and asked me if I would take $180 for it instead of $215, and I went, yep, come and get them. Because every little bit helps towards the shipping of my stuff.
Yep. Did you see what Camel Carl did the other night?
He had an auction, and I said to him, like, I watched the gear that he has and the stuff that he makes, and there's so many things that I would love to buy for once I get up north. But right now, I don't have 2 cents to rub together because every single dime that I collect is going to shipping my stuff out of here.
Yeah. Well, what I was gonna say is, did you think of doing something like that yourself at all? Like,
an auction thing?
Yeah, or don't you have that many people that know
I don't have the SMRT. I mean, I had a Travis train wreck on my channel yesterday because since the last time I did a video, the YouTube dashboard changed completely. The StreamYard dashboard changed completely. And then something went wrong on the first stream, and I couldn't hear Travis when he tried to come up.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody could hear me, but I couldn't hear Travis. So the button to refresh the page or reload it was not there anymore because they'd changed everything. So then I couldn't figure out how to refresh it, and I said to Travis, I guess I'll just have to close it and redo it. Well, I did that twice and it didn't work. And I said, well, then I'll try shutting my computer down and restart it. Well, when I did that, oh my God, all this weird shit started happening. Things were flashing on my computer that have never flashed before. And there was notices showing up on my computer that had never been there before. And by the time I eventually got it back and got it working, and I had about an hour show after that. And then the one good thing is I learned how to do the back room, which I didn't know how to do. And Guardian and I sat in the back room talking after everybody left. We were still talking at 8 o'clock this morning.
So are we live now, or are we in the back room?
No, we're still live.
Oh, okay. Make sure that I'm careful of what I say.
No, David N said he was coming back, but he was talking about food. He's always talking about food.
Well, it was so funny when my daughters called. I was in the middle of making a cake.
Oh yeah?
And I got it in the oven, and I got so sidetracked talking to them.
Forgot about it?
Started to smell like it was burning. It didn't burn, but
it was
by
overcooked.
the corners it's a little crispier, or a little harder, a little tough.
Little tough on the outside edges.
Yeah, but it still tastes good. I'm like, I've never done that before. There's a first time for everything.
Well, you know what? I found this recipe earlier this year for cake box cookies. Mm-hmm. Have you ever done them?
No.
Oh, you use cake mix, whichever kind you want. And I think it's 2 eggs, a stick of butter, a teaspoon of vanilla, and you mix it all together and you cook them at 375 for 9 minutes. Oh, are they ever good?
Oh, really?
And you pick whichever kind of cake mix you want to use, and then you add whatever you want into the mix. If you want to put like miniature M&Ms, or you want to put chocolate chips, or you want to put nuts, or whatever. You put
Hi, Blackwatch. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Hey, Blackwatch. How's it going, dude? Then you put whatever you want. If you want to add something to it, like nuts or chocolate chips or any of that kind of stuff, you put like a 1/4 cup of that in, and you use whatever kind of cake mix you want. Now, my one girlfriend, she likes that, what do they call it? Red velvet, or...
Oh, yeah.
She likes that, so she made a batch of these cookies with the white chocolate chips in it. They were pretty good, even though I don't like the red cake mix.
That sounds good.
They were pretty good cookies.
I wonder if a person could make the carrot cake.
I made carrot cake. What did I put it? I made the carrot. I used the carrot cake mix, and I put white chocolate chips and pecan slivers.
Oh, yummy. Oh.
Hey, the link is pinned at the top, Blackwatch, if you want to come up. So, yeah, that was a discovery I made at the beginning of this year, and you can use any kind of cake mix you want, and then the ingredients you add are always the same. 2 eggs, a stick of butter, a teaspoon of vanilla, and then a 1/4 cup of whatever you want to add. So if you want to add white chocolate chips, you add a 1/4 cup of that. And if you wanted to add some walnuts or pecans or stuff like that, then you put like a 1/4 or 1/8 of a cup of those in. Mix it all up, and then you put it in the fridge to set for 2 to 3 hours. And then when you take it out, you use like a teaspoon or one of those cookie spoon things, and you take out enough for like a 1-inch ball when you roll it in your hand.
Mm-hmm.
And you roll them up, and then you set them on the cookie sheet, and you put them in the oven for 9 minutes, and they are delicious, no matter what kind of cake mix you choose.
Wow, just a cup of, or what'd you say, a stick of butter?
Yeah. So you know when they have
And
butter
vanilla.
and it has 4 sticks?
Two eggs. Okay, 2 eggs, butter.
A stick of butter, a teaspoon of vanilla, and then a 1/4 cup of whatever you want to add. So if you wanted to add chocolate chips or peanut bits or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Mix it all up, and then you put it in the fridge to set for 3 hours. And then you take it out and you make 1-inch balls in your hands, roll them up, and you set them on the cookie sheet, put them in for 9 minutes at 375.
Wow, I'm gonna have to try that.
They're so good, Anna Marie.
So, I stayed up by my brother for almost a year when he was going through some stuff, and came back here, and he didn't let me have my stuff back when I moved back. Well, last year he brought 1 carload of my stuff back, and almost everything was full of mildew. He went and he put all my stuff down in the basement.
Ew.
And he has a wet basement, so almost everything had to get thrown away, and that was just 1 load of my stuff. And I'm hoping that he didn't put my cookbooks and stuff down there. If I'll ever get them back, I don't know.
Oh,
But like all my family photos of my kids, my grandkids, everything is all up there. Things that really mean something to me,
Yeah.
And I was just so disgusted. I had to throw a whole bunch of my jewelry away. I don't know if I'll get my tools back. It's just, I got to get off the doldrums. I want to stay in a good space.
Mm-hmm.
So on the positive.
Someone was saying today that Mount St. Helens is rumbling, but the USGS isn't showing it on their site.
Well, yeah, they've been manipulating whether people are seeing stuff or not for years.
Blackwatch did this the other night too. He came in and said yoo-hoo, and then he left. I told him the link is pinned up top.
He might be tired. I think he was on Bonnie's for a while. I'm not sure if that was him or not.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm really curious about whether those the video that I played that stolen history on is still there. Because if it is, I want to try and snag those videos and put them on my Telegram.
Oh, yeah.
Because that actual page that I got them from YouTube is gone. There is one there for stolen history, but it's only got like 4 videos, so I think they had to make a new channel.
You know what? And I just cleared my whole, got rid of almost every video that I had, all the conspiracy stuff. I just went and wiped everything clean. I just got rid of everything because I'm like, nobody to share any of this with. And then what happens? All of a sudden, bang, my daughters want to talk to me. They want to fill out the situation, whatever. And I'm like...
So how was that, by the way? Like, what made them all of a sudden...
I don't know. Well, I kind of actually think, well, my youngest one said she misses me. She really misses me. My oldest one, she does and she doesn't. She's how do I say it? Into her life, she's got 4 boys. My youngest daughter doesn't have any.
Mm-hmm.
But now that she's been going through this family tree and everything else and doing all this research.
Now, which one did that? The older one or the younger one?
My older daughter.
Yeah.
And she shared the information with my younger daughter.
Yeah.
And I think what happened is she came to realize it was kind of like a slap of reality when she actually started reading books and finding out about the taking away of the family, the breaking down of the family,
Yeah.
and how my mom didn't know how to be a mom. So me becoming a mom was like feeling the situation out and doing the best I could by just observing, because my mom lost custody of us kids when we were little.
Yeah.
So it was passed off, passed on, and then suddenly a stepmom that was very, very religious, just really messed up
Yeah.
from one thing to another, My birth mom was abusive. She was a chronic alcoholic and a drug addict, and
So that's why she lost custody.
she was leaving us kids alone a lot. A lot of bad things were going on.
Yeah.
We were about to go into foster care.
Yeah, because I know a lot of the indigenous families they just marched in there and they took the kids. Period.
That's what they did.
Yeah.
My mother's mother had passed away, and at that time they wouldn't allow the dad to keep the kids. But still, It was at that time where they were just switching over from whether kids could be with the boarding schools and everything, where they were starting to get rid of them in the States.
Yeah.
But my mom, they weren't going to let the dad and family take care of the kids. They had to go to boarding school. Well, they decided that he wasn't going to be able to take care of all those kids.
Mhm.
So the youngers all got put in an orphanage. And then I think my mom was 8 when my grandpa died. He worked in the shipyards in Superior. He worked down in the bottom of the ships doing repairs.
Oh, and see, I had one of my great uncles worked in the shipyards in Ireland.
Oh, wow. Maybe I can share some of this history with you because it's kind of interesting. Like I said, the chief was I'm walking over by my tablet. The chief was buried on Madeline Island.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to think of this president.
And that's the island where only direct descendants can go?
I don't know if it's that only direct descendants can go to the island, but cannot only direct descendants can go into behind the gate into the burial place.
Oh.
And there's a whole bunch of graves that had been dug up. There's a lot of graffiti.
Yeah.
And also, I forget what, up by Ashland and stuff like that, there was a whole lot of them that were dug up there too.
Mm-hmm.
One of my great-grandparents was suing the steel industry up there by Duluth.
Yep.
Over land. That was my great-grandma.
Cool.
And let's see. Yeah, her name was Maggie Martineau. And then it was President Millard Fillmore that my grandpa, Chief Buffalo, formed the treaties with.
Okay.
And then let's see, what else do I have?
That's pretty cool to find out all that history, though, right?
Yeah, it was really funny because I mentioned it in chat, and Pappy Two Bears says, "I always knew you were a princess." That made me laugh. Well, Pappy, he's a sweetheart.
And see, my mom was the, what do you call it, the vault for the family history. She knew
Okay.
everything about everything on both sides of the family.
Well,
And she
this
would
one,
always say to me, someday I'm going to sit down with you and I'm going to explain all the different people on both sides of the family. And then when she had her stroke, it did brain damage.
oh,
Her stroke wasn't physical damage, it was brain damage.
mm-hmm.
And then each time that her sugar would go out, she'd have another mini stroke. So you knew, as soon as her sugar went skewy, you knew that there was another stroke coming, and with another stroke meant more brain damage.
Oh, man.
So each time she kept losing more and more. It was all like in blocks and sections, right?
Yeah.
So she never got around to telling me anything. And so when I started looking up my family tree, I could only get back as far as my grandparents or great grandparents on either side, and I couldn't get any further.
Well, I know on my dad's side, when I was a kid, we went to a family reunion. That would be the Kimball side.
Yeah.
We went to a family reunion, and they had 2 books. I kid you not. Those things were like 8 inches thick of all the family tree and everything. And it went past the Mayflower. It went into Europe on his side. But this is the stinger, man. This is like what a small world type thing.
Mm-hmm.
The president, Millard Fillmore, his sister is like the great grandmother of my dad.
Oh yeah.
So it's really funny that chief happened to, who is my great whatever grandfather, and did business with my dad's. So those two and my mom and like their descendants hooked up.
Yeah.
You know.
Hi, Blackwatch.
That's kind of a chuckle. Hi, Blackwatch.
How are you?
Oh, listen,
Good.
the mic's working too.
You know I'm Anna Marie, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know if you remembered or not.
Starts with a K.
I don't think I've ever been on panel with you.
No. Anna Marie that runs around all over the place. The last name starts with a K. I can't. Right?
Kimball.
Where have you been all my life?
And see, the one thing that I was able to find out when I was doing the search for my family history, one of my dad's mom, so my grandmother on my dad's side came from a family of 10 kids, 7 boys and 3 girls.
Mm-hmm.
Well, all the 7 boys were in the First World War and the Second World War, if they lived that long. And one of his great uncles died in the First World War, and all my great grandmother got and the family got was what's called a copper penny, but it's actually like a brass medallion. It's probably about 6 inches around, and it has like a war memorial thing on it. And that was given to all the families of people that died in the war. They all got one of these copper penny things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as far as they knew from the telegram they got and everything, he was missing in action and presumed dead, and they never found his body. And so that's what they lived with their whole life. My grandmother thought that her brother was never found, my great-grandmother thought that her son was never found, the whole ball of wax, right? But when my dad told me this story, I started to dig in and investigating with one of my friends that I had online over in Great Britain, and they decided to help me look. So between the two of us, we were able to find my great uncle, where he was buried. We were able to get a picture of his grave with his rank and everything on it. And so I went with all the research that I found, and I put it all together in a write-up with the picture of the copper penny at the top, and I gave it to my dad. And he sat and cried for like 45 minutes.
Oh.
Because they all thought that he was left dead in a field somewhere and never found. They had no idea, none of them, that he had been found and properly buried.
Oh my.
And I was able to give him the name of the cemetery in Ypres. I think it's pronounced Ypres. And I was able to get a picture of the grave and include it all in the report and his service record and everything. And my dad sat and cried for like 45 minutes.
Oh my goodness. That's touching.
So that was, even though I didn't get very far in the family tree, it meant a lot to me that I was able to do that for my dad.
Yeah.
Because the entire time, the whole family thought that he was left for dead in a field somewhere.
I think that's partly probably why my daughters reached out to us. I think that they realized how much it would mean to me to see their dad is a descendant, and during the whole time I was married to them, would not admit that he's Menominee.
Oh yeah.
He was brought up with a dad that didn't want anyone to know because they felt ashamed, because the Menominee were known as more of a rough tribe of natives. And well, the whole time I was married to him, it was always kind of a dig. When I married him, his son, or Avery's son, Doug, he said right out, "Are you Native American or are you white?" He said, "If you're Native American, get the hell out of here."
You should have said, "I'm human." There's
That's
one
how
race, the human race.
Yeah. But we should let Black Watch talk. How you doing,
Yeah,
dude?
what good news do you have, or what intel do you have, or what did you hear today?
My life, and that was enough. Thank you. Seriously.
Oh, okay.
Things are not. It's. I always thought, you know, you talk about music and life. The '60s were a mess. You know, they talk about, well, it was rock and roll, it was this, it was that, it was drugs, it was a mess. It was all over the place. Gordon Lightfoot, you know, Zeppelin, and all these things like that. That's what it feels like now. That's what it feels like. If you can understand what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
It's you know, the story of my life or whatever, but I can look in people's eyes and know things. I know things.
Yeah.
I was right about something that's very sad.
Oh, really?
When you talk about these online services, or the databases get connected, and little bits of records become important, and they become the links and everything. There was a day not long ago, a few years, and Ancestry CA must have been free, because I put my dad's date of birth and death and all this started a link, and it must have gone into Ancestry CA. Next thing, after an hour or so, I was in Scotland around 1710 to 1716. That far back, and that was the last record of my family roots.
See,
Wow, you
Laura,
got that far.
Laura
You got
got
that
as far back
That's,
as. Oops, go ahead.
You
Laura,
did good if you got back that far.
Laura got back as far as 1660.
You must. You're in Europe. You're definitely in Europe.
Yeah, I got back as far as the early 1800s with mine, and between Scotland and Ireland.
Well, the connection on my part of it is where the French come into Canada, because the upper part of Minnesota was Canada back then.
Yeah.
That was the Métis. That was referred to Métis.
Pardon?
Wasn't it referred to as the Métis, the tribe?
Oh, you mean the Métis?
Métis, however you say that. Where the
Anishinaabe.
How is it?
Anishinaabe.
Métis is more or less where the French married into the native people. That's what I thought.
My grandfather, Chief Buffalo, adopted a French child.
Okay, there it begins to.
But it goes farther back than that. Goes back to, let's see, in 16. Oh, it's such a chaos of stuff that I wrote down here. It's not very organized because I was trying to put it all in order.
Well, the cake was overcooking.
Well, the negotiations of the tribal treaties that Chief Buffalo did were back in 1852. He took a canoe and got a whole lot of people all over to sign onto this paperwork to bring to President Millard Fillmore. And then it was in, where did I write that down? All these different names. It goes back to like my grandma Bassina. It goes up to
Blackwatch, did you hear we had another doctor die the other day?
in Canada.
Oh yeah, in the last month or less, we had 28 doctors die. All young, like under 50, mostly athletic. Many of them did, like triathlons and all that kind of stuff. I think they said 24 or 25 of them were from Ontario predominantly. And they all died within a day of taking their fourth coat.
Of what?
They all died within a day of taking their fourth jab.
Well, that's the only link they got? That's the only common denominator?
Yep, that's the only thing. All within the last month or less. And this last one was from Sarnia. She was 32. She had a microbiology degree and everything. And I'm thinking, these people have that kind of education and they're putting this freaking experimental shit in their body? Really?
Yeah, but what was the cause of death?
Oh, they were all dying from, some were dropping dead in their sleep within a day of taking it. Some were dying in a swimming pool. Some were dying when they were jogging. But all of them died within a day of taking their fourth shot.
Yeah, but was it respiratory or was it cardiology. What was?
They didn't say. They just like. There's a thing. If you look up Stu Peters on Rumble,
Yeah,
the title, or if you look on my Telegram, it's on my Telegram too. And
yeah,
it
but
says,
they do know. They do know.
huh?
They do know. They can
What's
tell.
that?
They can't. They do know. They can tell what major system failed first.
Okay,
But
well, what I'm saying is Stu Peters did a special on it the other day,
yeah,
and I've got it on my Telegram, but you can also find it on Rumble as well.
well, I mean, you gotta wonder. You know, with the common link like that, you gotta go. Wait a minute. You know, there's something wrong here.
Well, he had a researcher on there, and he couldn't get Fitzer to cooperate and give their information, but he got the other 3 companies to provide their information.
Right.
And between the other 3 companies, there's 1,500 different lot numbers. And every one of them has different ingredients in it.
Yeah, but there's one thing I don't know if people are missing. I'll just throw it out there because this whole thing didn't impact my life that much, believe it or not. There's other mitigating things that came along before it.
Yeah.
But you do realize that the flu, the common thing that we've all grown up with. We grew up with polio shots and everything else. Over 4 million people die every year from just the flu worldwide.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
You know, so everybody goes, "Wow, look at what happened." Have you lost track? There's almost 8 million get out of the misery that tobacco causes every year. And there's twice that come back into the fold. You know, when you look at proportion, this isn't that far out. You know, and I don't like it. I don't like it. You know.
There was a report a couple weeks ago about parents that they willingly took their 2-month-old baby in to get the jab, and within a day, no, within 3 hours of the baby having the shot, the baby was dead.
Like, why? My daughter was 2 months.
These people use no common sense at all. Who in their right mind would put an experimental drug in their system?
When my daughter was 2 months old, I was praying that colic would only last 3.
Yeah.
That was my major concern. And it lasted 7, and that's about around 5. I lost my sanity.
Yeah, my son had croup.
You know, don't worry. It'll be another month, and then the sick kid's going, "Did you really want to try it?" I'd probably say, "No. Can I put it back?" I'm looking at the nurse. You know, it was an ordeal.
I can't remember. I seen somebody put up maybe it was Robert, put up a poster or a meme or whatever you call it, and it said, newborn baby arrives, healthy, happy, blah, blah, blah. Parents take it to the doctors and get its, you know what. Then child starts having constant earaches, constant throat infections, blah, 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 blah. Then they're prescribed this prescription, then they're put on this, then they're told they have to this. Now they have chronic illness like you wouldn't believe.
The more common sense. I don't even think the collective cranial bones are fused yet at 2 months.
No.
Like, duh. You know, and I'm just a stupid old fart. What do I know?
And see, when mine were born, I didn't know that you could refuse them. But the shots that they had, the first required ones within a month or whatever it was, those are the only ones they had. Because after that, I found out you didn't have to. And by the time they started JK, they had a exemption on file at school to not take any of this stuff. And that's what makes me so furious about my oldest one going and doing it and getting 2 of them And her whole reasoning for doing it was so that she could go to her cousin's hockey game.
I don't know. Have you noticed some aside? A lot of people are starting up their own channels, which is good, which is great. You know, within the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I struggle. Personally, I struggle with the whole thing. And I put into one, because you talk about the chat, happy to, and all that stuff. Nobody wants to hear what I have to say. And they don't. They don't. And then he says to me, "Oh yeah, of course they do. Go ahead. Why don't you start one?" You know, you mentioned the channel. You do know what's happened recently over there, Brenda.
Over where?
You mentioned the channel way back. I don't want to.
Okay, I'm thinking.
You were trying to find out about a report on something about being inoculated and the effect of somebody's channel.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
He's a dear man, but I mean, you know, and somebody who is very well known and very likable got sideswiped on it badly. And another one. You know, and my point is I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. I've already got nailed on 2 channels. Because I'm not miserable about it, I just say it. The truth.
Okay.
But anyway, it's just I don't.
I don't get to probably 3/4 of the channels I used to go to because I'm so tired and exhausted. And like I was telling the girls earlier, I said for like 3 or 4 weeks, if I did make it to a channel, I usually ended up falling asleep there.
Yeah.
And then the next thing I knew, I was waking up. And then the next thing I knew, I was waking up again. And it was like, wow.
Yeah, but you know, I did it once recently. You know, it just was gone. But in my defense, for one thing, it's like a bloody record going. Some people get on there and it's just you know that sound effect that they have on the movie?
Yeah.
That's what you start to hear. You know, so don't feel bad.
I know when I go into channels, and it doesn't matter whose it is, I said if I hear people that are being negative or putting out fear porn or constantly saying, what are we going to do? Then I just leave because I can't handle being around that negativity right now.
I understand what you mean, but you know what? It's funny you hit the point of recently because the last 3 months I had to look at my life. You know, when you ever think of it's a Sunday afternoon and it's slow. The whole day's slow. You know, you got whether it's winter, you know, and you're kind of stuck in. As long as you got cigarettes, food, and whatever, you know, the hell with it. I'm not going to go outside.
Yeah.
And it's kind of warm, and there's a bit of warmth on your back, and especially in winter when it's cold, and your mind starts to go. And where it goes is in about your last 10, 15 years of your life. You know, where did it go? Where, you know, you know what I'm trying to say? That's what I feel on that.
Yeah.
And you talk about negativity. I just went through that. I just kind of got a reaming about that. About this is what I'm like, but people care or something. By the same people that go on and on and on and on about the same damn thing over and over and over again in their life. But I keep my mouth shut.
Yeah.
You know, it's. I finally got somebody that we all know, and Anna Marie, I got a photographic memory. I do. I'm not wrong because it comes back. The same person that said something, and it was something to do with music and things like this, and that it goes way back during the time when rock and roll was just after Chuck Berry and things. And somebody finally said to me, Blackwatch, you're older. You've experienced more. And boy, I almost came back. Yeah.
I'm going to tell you a little bit of a funny story. A lot of the stuff that we've been learning about the celebrities, the music industry, these different things.
Yep.
When I went to Bible camp as a teenager, they were telling me all of this.
Oh, yeah?
When I went back home, my friends, different people, didn't want to hear what I had to say.
Of course.
And
It's
this
just
is
like
all
now
touching
when
on the
you're
same
trying-
stuff
It's
that they were
like now
telling
when
me.
you're trying to tell people the common sense stuff and they don't have that common sense doesn't grow in their garden.
Yeah. But I think that part of the disconnect for me on my personal level is I wasn't as able to be quite as brainwashed and was a little more open to difference or looking at things different because I don't see things the same way.
Yeah. And
I
see, I
don't.
was like that too, right from when I was a young age. A lot of stuff didn't make sense to me, and I would look at people and go, how do you equate this to being normal? There's something wrong here, and people would look at me like I'm crazy. So it got to the point where I just would stop saying stuff, and I would just pay attention for my own, because I knew
Yeah.
something wasn't right with this or something wasn't right with that.
Well,
But
there was.
if you try to tell anybody that, they look at you like you got four eyes.
Well, and then the drastic difference in the way people's lifestyles were and everything. You go from being a little kid that has a family to all of a sudden you don't have a family. You're passed off here and there because you're all of a sudden dad's kind of out of the picture. Part of the family is like on my mother's side of the family, everybody had family problems. Hardly anybody stayed married or ever, they didn't stay married.
Yeah.
Their families were divided, broken up, or whatever. But then on my dad's side of the family, everybody stayed together except for my dad and my mom.
Yeah.
So I had that little bit of foundation there when we would get together with that side of the family. Then when we moved away and moved to Wisconsin, things were different. My dad was with my stepmom. Very family oriented, but we weren't around our family except for holidays and special get-togethers. We would travel to go see them. So during that time in between my dad getting custody and everything, my brother and I, we knew a little bit about religion, but not a lot.
Yeah.
So we had a very small baseline of what we knew. When my dad got custody of us kids, he became a reborn Christian. And then the church that we went to at that time, and I was confirmed from, was a Norwegian Lutheran church.
Yeah.
And they were independent of all the other churches. They were their own little church. They didn't belong to any senate or anything like that.
Yeah.
And it's wrong to say that religion was shoved down my throat, but I was uncomfortable with the fact that they were teaching me a little bit different than the Catholic faith, and what was told me to fear this person, respect that person, and being taught not to look a person in the eye, because my mom was brought up in an orphanage and she was trying to teach me proper manners as a Native American. You don't look anybody in the eye. You look down.
So
You
that
don't
you're
talk back
inferior.
to people. You don't question anybody. You do as you're told.
Yeah.
So it took a lot of years before I found some independence and realized I gotta speak up for myself, and no, I'm not putting up with crap.
Yeah.
No, should you have to.
And see, when I was little, the closest thing I came to church when I was little was my brother, his buddy got him into the Sunday school thing, and so I was forced to go with them. And they had, the wooden chairs that they had used to have in all the halls and stuff like that. Had the metal frame with the wooden seat and the wooden back on it.
Yeah.
That was what was in the main hall where they had the service and everything, and then they would take the kids off to another room when they were doing Sunday school. But we were in the main hall when they were doing some service or other, and I was so bored. I stood up on the chair and started tap dancing on the chair because I had those little black patent shoes on.
Oh, I remember those.
And I got him kicked out of Sunday school. And then I couldn't tell you how many different churches we had in the area around our house. Like, there was a humongous Roman Catholic church right across the street from us. And it had like the grotto with the gates and the offering table, it was creepy. And when you went in the church, I only ever went in the church once with our next door neighbor, and it had all these creepy statues and carvings and all this other shit, and it freaked me right out.
Same with me.
And anytime I went into any church, didn't matter what kind of denomination it was, that was the first thing that I noticed was all this weird shit, right? And I could never make sense, ever, of any of their Bibles. I didn't understand none of them until I met Remote. And Remote helped me understand the Bible.
That's awesome.
But my whole life growing up, my philosophy was, and my sister-in-law is a minister, and she accepted me for who I was. She knew that I swore occasionally, I was a truck driver, but she knew that my heart was good and that I fully believed in God. I spoke to God all the time, and I tried to do the right things, right? And that I'm not able to lie. So
no, wait a minute. You were a truck driver?
Yeah, for 23 years.
You never told me that.
Yeah.
Where have you been?
No, you didn't. You let me down now. You didn't tell me.
I drove truck for 23 years. I drove right up until 3 weeks before my first daughter was born.
I'm kidding.
So
I'm sorry I can't be that serious, isn't it?
So
Sorry.
all the way through, my philosophy, or the way I felt, was you didn't need someone else to talk to God. I never did. I just spoke directly to God, and that's the way I thought it. That's the way I thought it was supposed to be, right?
Right.
Because there's no way I could go into any of those churches. There was just something that set me off, and I couldn't go in there.
I understand that, because it gave me the creeps to be looking at all these images, all these people.
They got some scary looking shit in those churches, and it don't matter what denomination it is.
When I went to that Lutheran church, the only thing that was in there was one of the pictures that one of the original people from Elam Lutheran painted himself, and it was the picture of Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane, and it was painted from his mind, not from an image that he saw anywhere else. And that's the only picture in the whole
church.
Yeah. That was it. It was about Jesus. Mm. There is no image of God.
Brenda, you don't think the RC Church, all those imposing things are done on purpose?
What's that?
Don't you think with the Roman Catholic Church, all that imposing, almost in some cases, demonic-looking imagery is done on purpose?
Oh, probably.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Because most of the people in our neighborhood that went there had an element of creepy to them. If you know what I'm saying.
They are. This is, I'm going to wade in with my 2 cents with when you look at it. Most things are logical to some extent. They are. I don't live my life by that, but they are.
Yeah.
If I didn't, I wouldn't engage people. You look at it this way. You look through the Roman Catholic, the Empire. Roman
Yeah.
Empire. You look at the Knights Templar. You look at all that did this. The Constantinople and the king that pulled the Bible apart. Everything.
Yeah.
And you look at where's the common thing, all the way back to the time of supposed Jesus, tax collectors. One of his disciples was a tax collector. So you want to get money. That's all it is. That's all it is.
Yeah.
And you get a man who has his family, and he's just, the wife gathers, whatever, the hunter gatherer, the whole thing. And he says, I can't give anymore. Well, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. I can't do it anymore. I can't give you anymore. Well, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to make you live in hell for eternity. And that's why I convince you of that. You will steal. You will do whatever you need to do to get me more. Think about it.
I'm going to tell you something about that Lutheran church that we were going to. Like I said, it was independent. When they took collection, it went towards the bills. The extra and paying for the pastor who lived across the street in the parsonage. All right? They also worked jobs. They didn't just get the money to sit there and just work at the church or whatever. They also had other jobs and did things in the community. The money from the church also went back to the people in the congregation. When there would be a family having a hard time or in need, we took up a collection for those families.
Yeah.
There was so much selflessness, giving and caring amongst that community of people. It was just, it's so much different than what I see in any churches today. I'm not going to say that it's that way. It's not that way in all of them, but you know what I mean. Hello?
I said I thought they got their channel taken down.
I don't know who it is that you're talking about. You would have to write it in private.
The Stolen History.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, that's what happened. Because they're over on Rumble.
Oh, cool.
And so that one that I found earlier on YouTube, they had to make a new channel, and that's why there's only 4 videos there.
Well, when you actually had that on, I was like, this is so familiar. Here I was already subscribed to that. I had already watched those.
Yeah, and
I've watched so much.
Because they're over on Rumble, and
cool.
They've got the videos there.
Yeah, I shared those out when they were on YouTube to quite a few people.
Now that I found them, I'm going to share them on my Telegram.
Cool.
But as soon as I found them over on Rumble, then I knew that that's what happened, because they got their channel taken down.
Yeah.
Which sucks. So if their channel was taken down off of YouTube, and I had them saved, those videos saved in one of my playlists, does that mean that those videos disappeared when the channel disappeared?
Yeah, usually it will.
Yeah?
Yeah, usually they do.
They will if they do like that, but consider this. If you have the system in the States, you lose chat, but you can download every video you want.
Right.
Oh, there you go.
What's it called?
No, I'm just saying YouTube, but if they take your channel down permanently, it's gone. You lose it. But if you go live, once it goes up,
Yeah.
once it's up, you can download it. You lose the chat when you download it, but you got the video on the system. It's like, first of all, you turn around and say to YouTube, I don't trust them. They're going to do this. They're going to do that. I'm going to lose all this. But nobody takes any measure to say it's themselves. They're a demon. They're going to do this. They're going to take it down. And I'm going to trust them to back up my file. You see, it doesn't.
And see, that's what I was saying, because I only had one video taken down, and it was the first one where I called someone an asshat, and they took it down for hate speech.
Well, whatever. I mean.
But the other videos are all still there, which means the videos that I played in there, even if they were taken off of YouTube, they're still in my video, right?
But you want to know? You want to know a statistic? Like, okay, they ramped up the AI, which is really only coding. They make it quicker. So the times are kind of different. And you think if you get 3 strikes in 3 months, you're going to be taken down, which you will. But you know what takes most of them down? Is community strikes. I'm going around and going, oh, this is why, but I go into Brenda's channel. And I don't like something you say. I put a strike against it. Somebody else does it. Put a strike against it. Your channel's going to come down.
See, I never got a strike for it. They just took my video down and gave me a warning. And said that they took it down for hate, and they took it down for hate speech.
For what?
They never took my channel down. They never gave me a strike. They just gave me a warning and took the video off because they said they took it down for hate speech.
For hate then?
Hate speech.
That's what I'm not getting for some.
Yeah, because I called someone an asshat.
What?
Yeah.
That's kind of like, well, we got big boy pants on, now grow up. These words.
Yeah, it was one of the first ones when Chuck and Monty were trying to help me figure out whether I could operate Restream or StreamYard easier.
I remember that time.
Yeah, and while they were trying to help me, someone was being a dick in the chat. So I called them an asshat, and they took me down for hate speech.
Oh, somebody complained.
I mean, they didn't take me down. They just took the video down and gave me a warning.
No, that wasn't you two. I almost guarantee you that was somebody watching and they got a little, but
probably the person I called the asshat.
Yeah, absolutely. But the one shouldn't do it.
Yeah, I didn't get a strike. They didn't take my channel down. They only took the video down and gave me a warning. But all the other ones are still there, which means if they're still there, then the ones that I played, those stolen history videos, those videos should still be there, even though they've been taken off of YouTube, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna jump down, you guys.
What's that?
I'm gonna jump down. My eyelids are getting pretty heavy.
Okay, honey.
Thanks for having me up.
Thanks for coming up.
You're welcome, and nice talking with you, and Blackwatch, you too.
Yeah, it was nice talking to you. I haven't talked to you for a couple months, except in chat.
Yeah.
I had pretty much quit going up on panel and stuff after Jeff and Heather's channel and everything, and my
what
phone
happened
gets
to them? How come they disappeared?
overheats.
How come
Pardon?
they disappeared?
I don't. I heard rumors. I don't talk about it.
Okay. One minute they were there, the next minute they were gone, and I never saw them on again.
Yeah, I miss them. I think that there's a lot of people out to get people, and that's probably one of the things that probably happened. Is, you get...
Yeah, because I used to go to their channel every afternoon.
You get tired of being beat up or whatever, or else you just move on to other stuff or get sick of it,
Yeah.
Who knows? But,
Anna Marie, what you're talking about is what I saw. When I, long story short, it was tech. That's where it started, and music and everything else. and you kind of wade into it, and it went sideways. I trusted somebody too much, but somebody said to me, try Bonnie's. You know, it was on a tech channel. I said, no, that's not what it came from. Anyway, I stumbled into it. What you're talking about, that's what was the magnet. That was a magnetic effect of people coming in. It's gone almost. It's almost gone. So I'm with you. It's becoming, what do you do? And I tried to stand up for it. Tried to, not some gladiator, some knight, but it just like, I'm missing this, right?
Yeah.
This is what I saw, and I'm missing it.
Well, and there's the point where, you know, you're supporting a channel by going to their channel and chat. It's a community of people, and you get a rapport with so many people, and you enjoy chatting and the input. And you don't even have to like everybody that's on panel. You don't even have to like everybody in chat.
Shit, hang on. Damn it.
You don't even have to like everybody in chat or anything, you know, but you know, it's just treating each other with respect.
Yeah.
You know, and
Guardian, how's it going, girl?
is she back?
Yep.
Cool.
Sorry about that. I hit the wrong button.
That's okay. I was telling him how we stayed up till 8 o'clock in the morning yesterday. Or was it this morning? This morning. Yeah. And everything has just seemed weird ever since. Probably because I've been up since Thursday morning. Which is totally opposite of what's been going on for the last 3 weeks, where I've been falling asleep.
I have days like that too. Yeah, I just, like I was saying, I got out of going up on panel and stuff like that, but my phone overheats, and I was just like, no, there's more people up on the panels. Once in a while I might jump up, but
mine used to do that, but I found out that it was Telegram that was doing it. So anytime I go into Telegram on my phone, as soon as I'm done, I force it to stop running in the background, and then it's fine. If I don't, and I leave it running, I can go from a full charge down to zip in about 2.5 hours.
Oh, yeah, see, I didn't have Telegram back when it was overheating, but I bought myself a different phone, and I haven't figured out how to use it enough to try to go up on panel and stuff like that, so
What?
I'm gonna let you go. I'm starting to mumble and talk stupid.
Okie dokie. Have a good night, honey.
Take care, you guys.
Thanks for coming up.
You're welcome.
Take
Good
care.
night.
Sleep well.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night. Well, I thought StreamYards could make a noise too when you Zoom. You can have it when people come in, ding dong, and then they go and they jump down.
Yeah, I don't ever hear a noise when people come on panel. I just see the little window come up.
Yeah, I think you can do it. You know what disturbs me? And I'm not. I've been accused of things lately. You know, drama and things like that. But Anna Marie kind of hit it. She kind of said it. You go to every panel. You know, the channels you go around.
Yeah.
You tell me if I'm wrong. There's going to be about, if not them all, a cross section of always the same 8 people. Always. And there's
on panel, you mean?
Yeah. It's always the same. And just like Anna Marie, it discourages the people to come up and interact from there. The base, just like she says, you're supporting the channel. And we discussed this before, right? About somebody's channel, which we, you know, I respected and I liked and everything else. And then you couldn't get a word in edgewise. And then it was kind of like, why did they even come here? Why didn't they just email each other, go on StreamYard and have a good time?
Yeah.
Exactly what you said. You're supporting.
There's a setting for the dingy thingy. I didn't know that. But you know what I did find out, Guardian? Not only did you and me find out how to do the back room thing, but I also found out how to put the timestamps on.
Yeah, there's Zoom also has this all shut off by default. You have to start, going through security. All the features you want to have.
Yeah, see, I can't use Zoom. I've tried for 8 months. It won't work on my phone.
No, it's not. It's difficult on the phone. It's not that friendly to, when you look at all the operating systems, to try everything working perfectly with all, it's difficult.
Yeah.
But, she's had another bad day. I hate being right.
And I got my banner back. Remember that? That was missing yesterday.
You what her?
My banner that goes
Oh, the
across.
banner. Oh, yeah.
See, because when I had my train wreck yesterday, the whole thing that started it was because the dashboard for YouTube had changed since the last time I'd done a video. And the dashboard for StreamYard had changed. And the buttons were all different. Some were missing. They worded things differently. And then when things all started going haywire and I tried to reload the page, that button was missing.
Yeah.
I couldn't figure out how to reload it.
Yeah, it's, I've had pretty well a lifetime with technology, and when they start writing stuff, they try to integrate it as best they can, but they can't hit every exception, every possibility of
No, and see what else? So I ended up shutting my computer down and restarting it to try and fix the problem. Well, when I restarted my computer, all this weird shit started happening. Things were flashing on my computer screen that never flashed before. I was getting all these weird messages. And eventually, when I got it all figured out and got back on, we were able to do a show for about maybe an hour and a half. And then everybody went to bed except Guardian and I, and then we figured out how to do the back room thingy.
There's a whole, Zoom. I favor Zoom for one reason is whatever your entry level. First of all, you get. I don't think free is very. It gives you about 40 minutes. People abused it. They were given free 40 minutes, and you restart it and things. They abused it, so then they started to enforce it, right?
Yeah.
People were, it's free is never enough. And but if you do pay it, the entry level lowest pay, I think it's like 25 people on panel if you want. It's very, and you can control that. You can say, look, I'm only going to allow, 10. I'm going to allow 4 because everybody steps on everybody. You don't have to take it, but we've had 20 on there. And a few people step on and they kind of say, look, I can't hear so and so. Stop stepping on them. Bush is afraid to say, but we discussed this in a way about a newcomer. I'm going to be proven right. I am, but I'm going to be proven right with what I thought, and it's sad. I don't take any pleasure in it. But my observation, and you know what? I don't care. I won't be here when it's proven right. I don't want to rag on on somebody's channel or somebody else, but it's a cross-channel thing. I will be proven right, Bren. My observation, well, not me proven right.
Yeah.
What people should feel, but it is obvious. It's. I won't go there. I would have. You know what I think about faith? Outside of brick and mortar, that's all. It's like George Carlin. Everybody get together on Sunday morning and wear your new suit and your new dress. That's about what it is. But surely your faith should make a difference in your day-to-day life. Nobody's going to say, the good times and everything, and and praise this and praise that. Everything's good, but then the hard times come, the gut wrenching, the ones that take you to your knees. I'm still waiting. I gave up. That's my personal story.
Yeah.
Surely your faith makes some difference in life. It's not all about death. Surely in your life it makes a difference.
Yeah.
And you know what? I use a crazy analogy. Remember the old West things, Gunsmoke and all the old West depictions of life back then.
Yeah.
And you go to the bank. There's always, you pull the little blinds down, the double doors, and they open up the thing and the safe and the whole thing. And the guy comes in and he goes behind the thing, and there's a big wooden, part on the desk, barrier. They have
Yeah.
the wicket with the brass things that come down.
Yeah.
So, okay, this is my analogy. So the guy goes to the door, pulls the blinds up, unlocks the door, goes behind there and behind the wicket. And people come up and this and this and this. So you come up and you go to it. Thank you, Lord. Thank you for all the blessings and everything. My child is fine, all that, right?
Yeah.
And here I'm going to deposit 10% of my wealth. I'm going to put it in. Lord, I'm in trouble. I don't know what to do. I'm losing. I'm going to lose her. I'm going to die. She's going to die. I don't know what to do. Next wicket, please. Think about it. Think about it, Brenda.
I usually, when I ask for guidance and answers, I usually get them. Might take me a couple days, but I usually get the answers I need.
No, but I mean, like, my sister, I can remember she's 4 years older, and you go to grade school, and I started 1 year earlier because you got in between age thing.
Yeah.
And of course, my mom would go, Shirley, watch your brother going to school. I'm sure looking back on it, I had the one-piece snowsuit, the whole thing. Just like the Red Ryder BB gun movie we have every Christmas. And she looked back. I could see her still look back with her girlfriend. He's there. You know what I mean? And then the point is with her, she'd be like, it's got to happen to somebody. Why shouldn't it happen to you? Well, how many times is that going to be, Shirley? And she's just like my father. Long story short, she doesn't exist to me for almost my entire life. And the only thing I existed to her was a burden. And I'm not complaining. That's the way it is. It's just, I don't have a sister. I don't have a sibling. It's not a sob story or whatever. This is my life. But my point is, as I put it, all I ever wanted to see was the sunlight come up and come through the window, and one of the flowers on the wallpaper changed its color a little bit. I never saw that. Surely divine intervention can make that sunlight end a little bit different from day to day. That's my point.
Yeah.
It's never been there. What about all the good things? What about all this and what about all that? I went off work for 4 months. My wife had to walk me down the street, literally. And within a year I had to go back to work and drive like that. And look at people that I would trust to get me to the hospital and everything, literally like they were alien. It was scary. It was mind consuming. And I'm supposed to kind of go, God help me? Yeah, gut wrenching it was to that. It was terrifying it was to try to do that. And somebody help me? Why is a burden that feels on my shoulder almost crushing me? And I got through it. Because I wasn't going to live that way. Some do. Some don't come back. This is my point. It's like, next wicket, please. It's a one-way street. But that's just me. When is people's plate full enough? Why do some seem to get hit one, and then they're good people and everything, they get hit one after another, after another, after another. And yet they still survive. Why then? Why? Anyway, I won't get that. You know, this is why I said to Hindi, there's no way people want to hear me. You know, they just don't want to, you know, don't rock my boat. But anyway, I wish it was different. I do. You know, every fiber of my being would be, you know, in these times and that, you go down here on your knees and you seek guidance, you seek intervention, you seek anything easing it, and you just see 20, 40% effect. I'd be grateful the rest of my life. I don't see it. I never did. But anyway, that's just me. This is why I could say that this time in the morning on this, you know. You know what I like to see?
What?
Where you have, you know, a good channel, whatever it is, you know, the smaller ones should be supported too. But everybody goes and say you got 40 people. And there's a common sense of things. You know, this is not right. If you know what I mean. It's just, you know, it's not the way it was, what formed this community and it starts again. It's it's my channel, or for whatever reason, all of a sudden gone. There's nobody there. They're talking to the wind. Maybe is that what it takes to get somebody's attention?
I have no idea.
You know, no, but think about it. You'd have to be pretty stupid not to go, what the hell did happen? Maybe that was a problem. Maybe I pressed a button. Then the next go, and you kind of go, what's causing this, you know? Anyway.
I don't have time to worry about that stuff because I have too much on my plate already.
Oh, I know. I'm with you. In my personal life, I'm just about buried. I don't care anymore. But you know, I've never heard Anna and things like that, and it just rekindles the beginnings of it. You know, it's inviting. It feels like home. People like that.
Yeah.
Just to be in their presence. You know. But anyway, enough of. I'm getting sloppy in my old age. You know. Most of my life was the hell with them, you know, kick it to the curb and just go on, which I really didn't. Anyway, you might want to get off and, remember I talking about native cigarettes, native tobacco?
What's that?
Remember I was talking about native tobacco with you to try to find, you know, cigarettes from the reserves?
Yeah.
My son-in-law found one, and there was some people saying, well, I got them, I didn't get them, and yada, 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 you know, usually it's people complain. Anyway, it was $25 a carton, $20 delivery, but if you got 3, because it's Canada Post, it's under the $20 umbrella, all well and good. I got 3, which I went to. You know what the first carton was like? There was a period of last year when number 7 cigarettes were, you know, I thought, what's this, violence from the floor or what, you know? But it was like sucking dry paint off a wall. The whole carton.
Because they were stale.
Yeah, that's the analogy of what, you know, and then the other 2 were more or less conventional to what, you know, name brand are. But yeah, I just thought I'd throw it out. Yeah, I can imagine you got a rack full of old ones and you have the new one. So you might go 1 every 4, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and try to get them back into the system. But so far, that's been my experience. I wish I'd found this earlier. Imagine the money I was spending, 160, 180 a carton.
Holy.
I think the government's just simply given up on trying to persuade people to quit. It's just easier to make it $50 a pack, you know? They won't be able to smoke. Yeah, you watch. Anyway, that's the end of my little rant. I'm going through something with somebody here, Brenda. I let somebody in, like, God, what she's going through in her life. Anyway, it is.
Well, I guess if no one else is coming up, and it's
It's,
what time in the morning? 4:25.
yeah. And
And I've been up since Thursday morning, so.
oh no, you're not one of them. Not one of those all night, all day.
No, not normally, but that's the way it worked out this last day and a half or whatever, 2 days.
It doesn't take you down for an hour or something. Like.
I told you, for the last 3 weeks, I haven't been able to stay awake.
Right.
And now, I've been up since Thursday morning.
Oh. You know, I get my sleep. My body can't take anymore. Literally can't take it anymore. You know, and you just. It's hot lately. You know.
Okay, well, I'm going to have to say goodnight because I got to try and get some sleep because there's someone coming to pick stuff up at 11:30.
Well, but I don't know if you have whatever takes you down so you can sleep. You know, I hope it works for you. But I'm so glad I popped. I was looking at who's on there, and oh yeah, Brenda's there. And I got to talk to Anna Marie. Wish I could talk to a number of people. You know, just like this.
Yep, well, that's why I started the channel, just so people could come and talk. Whether they wanted to talk about the day's events or whatever.
Well, I don't want to get in trouble, but I'm tired of hearing individuals, you know, on other channels. As soon as they come and bounce in, there goes 2.5 hours.
Good night, Anna Marie. Thanks for coming up, honey.
Yeah. But anyway, good night, Anna Marie. It was fun. Maybe another time we'll have it.
Love you too.
But, anyway, I'm gonna jump down and best of luck with your
Okie dokie.
with your sleep. But,
well, thanks for those who did come up, and thanks for those who came up on panel, and sorry if I babbled when it was just me up here. And
never say sorry for being yourself. But I'm gone. Peace out. Peace, sister. Bye.
Good night. Have a good night, everybody. Good night, Guardian.